a peaceful countryside town, Dr. Adam was getting ready to leave for work in the city. He made a quick stop at a small store to buy some supplies. But when he stepped outside, he was shocked to see that the streets had fallen into complete chaos. In an ambulance, a patient suddenly broke free and attacked random people. Suddenly, a man with a gun shot the zombie dead and shouted at the people to run for their lives. Adam rushed to his car and sped home. When he reached the entrance of his village, he saw his neighbor, Johnny, running in panic while carrying his wounded wife. Without hesitation, Adam brought them into his house. As he checked Johnny's wife, he saw a deep bite mark on her hand. Though there wasn't much he could do, he gave her a sedative to ease her suffering. Desperate to know what's going on, he checked the news and found that cases of the mysterious infection were rising fast, but no one knew its origin. As Adam focused on reading, a sudden, loud knock at the door startled him. It was another neighbor, checking on Johnny's wife, worried about her condition. By then, she had gotten much worse. Suddenly, she jumped up and snarled aggressively. The neighbor rushed to hold her down, but she bit him immediately. Chaos broke out as Adam and Johnny struggled to subdue her. As Adam tended to the neighbor's bite wound, an emergency broadcast blared through the house. The government announced that the zombie outbreak was out of control, and everyone was ordered to stay indoors. While the group processed this frightening news, Adam's phone rang. It was a call from a fellow doctor at the hospital who informed Adam that the city had nearly collapsed, and the military is setting up a safe zone out of the city. They urgently needed Adam's help to develop a vaccine. But before he could respond, the call suddenly cut off. With no better option, Adam told the group everything, and they all agreed that they needed to leave immediately and reach the safe zone. However, as they drove, they ran into a military checkpoint blocking their path. When they got out of the car for inspection, one of the soldiers accidentally fired his gun. The gunshots echoed through the forest, catching the attention of nearby zombies. Just as Johnny's wife was being checked, she fully transformed into a zombie, and the soldiers immediately opened fire, killing both her and their injured neighbor. The gunshots had attracted a swarm of zombies from the surrounding woods, and the soldiers, unprepared for the sudden attack, were quickly overwhelmed. Only Adam and Johnny managed to escape. Along the road, they spotted a man named Luis being chased by zombies. Even though it was risky, they decided to save him. They continued their journey together and arrived at a gas station, but out of nowhere, a zombie lunged at Adam, tackling him to the ground. Just in time, Luis grabbed a gun and fired, killing the zombie and saving Adam. After getting the fuel, they continued on, but by nightfall, they got lost. Adam went ahead to scout the area. While he was gone, Luis saw something in the distance. Johnny turned on the headlights, revealing a zombie charging toward them. He slammed the car door into the zombie, taking it down. But it wasn't alone. Hearing the commotion, Adam rushed back, shot at the zombies, and saved Johnny. But Luis wasn't as fortunate. He was bitten and didn't survive. With no time to grieve, Adam and Johnny abandoned the car and ran as the zombie horde closed in. Just when it seemed like they wouldn't make it, bright lights appeared ahead, and soldiers killed the zombies chasing them. They had reached the safe zone, and a military officer checked them for infection and then took them inside. Adam introduced himself as a doctor, and soon he met the scientist he had been in contact with. Adam was taken straight to the lab, where the doctor explained that after days of research, they had made no progress on a cure. As Adam reviewed their data, he noticed they hadn't tested blood samples from children. He suggested that children might hold the key to a cure. But before they could investigate further, an emergency alert blared, and zombies were attacking the safe zone. Soldiers fought back, but there were too many of them. Adam and the others had no choice but to flee under military protection. By morning, the group was walking along a narrow path. The military officer wanted to head to another base for safety, but the scientists disagreed, arguing they had to reach the research facility and continue their vaccine work. However, Adam decided to return home to check on his family. When he arrived, he found his father had turned into a zombie, and Adam put him out of his misery. He rushed to his son's room and kicked open the door, but to his shock, his son was awake and unharmed, even though there was a bite mark on his arm. Meanwhile, the group heading to the lab ran into trouble. Just as they neared their destination, zombies suddenly attacked. The officer sacrificed himself to give the others a chance to escape. Only Johnny and the researcher made it inside the lab. Elsewhere, Adam, carrying his son, was making his way toward the lab to meet the others. But on the way, he was ambushed by a gang of bikers. He thought they were survivors in need, but they turned out to be hostile. The bikers shot Adam in the stomach and took his son. Later, Adam woke up in a hospital bed. Johnny and the others had rescued him. By then, they had discovered the key to curing the virus. Just as Adam suspected, children were immune. Using his son's blood, they created a serum and distributed it across the country, giving hope that the world might finally be saved.